Today I'm looking at do-it-yourself terms. We're all aware that bespoke terms can be expensive, so lots of new startup businesses do it themselves. It's absolutely fine to do it yourself. There's just 6 points you need to be aware of. Doing a Blue Peter, cutting and pasting a paragraph from here, a paragraph from there may work. But here are my top 6 tips to ensure that the paragraphs you're using are right for your business. The first one, make sure that the product or service you're copying the terms from is offering the same product or service that you are. This includes the commitments that they're making about that product or that service, what liability they're offering for that product or that service, what refund they're offering for that product or that service. Have a think about what you're offering. Is there anything that you're giving that they're not? Or is there anything that they're offering that you're not? If it's yes to either of those, then think very carefully before you include that paragraph. Or you may need to reword the paragraph. Make sure it's suitable for your product or service. If it mentions insurance, is that insurance in line with your insurance? Does it have the same liability? Does it offer the same security? Is the paragraph you're looking at copying offering the right insurance that you've got? It may sound fundamental to check this, but it's very easy just to copy and paste and actually find that it's not what you're being covered for by your insurance. So make sure you check out this fact. If you're copying payment terms, the payment terms you're copying, are they the same that you're going to be using on the invoice? If within the payment terms section there's a comment about placing people on stop, will you actually be doing that? If it mentions removing products or services, are you actually prepared to do that? Some people talk about passing on debt without further acknowledgement once it becomes overdue. Is that something you will be doing? You need to make sure that your payments and your ethics fit with your ethics for your business. Make sure it's consistent from your terms and conditions down to your invoice. And always make sure that in the payment section, if it's business to business and you're based in England, you quote the Late Payment of Commercial Debt Interest Act in brackets 1998 as amended. By doing this, it will allow you to charge the interest rate as specified in the Act. If you specify an interest rate that is higher than the interest rate in the Act, the court may decide that your interest rate is invalid and reduce it to the interest rate that is in the Act. If your interest rate is lower than the one that's in the Act, the court may decide to increase the interest you're charging because it could be felt that you're undercharging it. Don't give yourself the added complication of figuring out what interest rate is right. Put in there the Late Payment of Commercial Debt Interest Act 1998 as amended. Transportation and breakages. At what point do you keep liability and at what point do you pass it to your customer? Whose insurance is it if something breaks in transport? Who refunds anything broken in transport? If you automatically add anything up to say 10% on to allow for breakages and margins, who pays for that? If you're going to have transportation and breakages in your terms, make sure the one that you're copying from is in line with your cover, with your thoughts, and with your ideas for your business. The other thing to think about is the age and any relevant legislation of the paragraphs you're copying. When were those paragraphs written? Why were they written? Are they still relevant today? The legislation that's quoted, is that still the most current and up-to-date one? Or has it been superseded? Is it British legislation or European legislation? If it's quoting legislation, do you understand the law that it's quoting? The same also goes for any terminology used within the contract and paragraphs you're copying. It's alright to copy and paste paragraphs from other people's contracts, providing you know exactly what you're sending out. This is your contract. This is your legally binding document with your customer. Make sure you understand what you're sending out. Make sure it fits with your company, fits with your core values, fits with your efforts, fits with your ethics. Bespoke contracts may not be as expensive as you think. Bespoke contracts don't have to be complicated. If you're copying and pasting a contract, unless you're doing something like recruitment or speaking, there really is no need for your contract to be more than 2 pages long. Anything over 2 pages long and people don't normally bother to read it. If it's not written in plain English and it's written in technical speak, the courts could throw it out because it's judged on whether Joe Public could understand it. Make sure you fully understand what you're sending out. If you want any further advice on contracts or on getting paid, just hit the subscribe button and keep up to date. I'm doing 3 videos a week and they're moving through. The final one on contracts is being out later this week. So I hope you found that useful. Hit the subscribe button and then you don't need to keep checking back on my channel, it'll automatically tell you. Thanks for watching. Until we catch up again. Bye for now.